Hi guys, hope you're well. It's Alex Allbat again, and today I want to talk a little bit about life as a professional golfer on a mini tour. Um, I get quite a few questions in asking me, one, how do you turn pro? Two, what the quality is like, and three, what the lifestyle's like. Um, so I turned pro in September 2017, so this will be my fourth season as a professional golfer. Um, I only played 3 events in 2017 as a pro. So I'll start off with how you turn pro. It's quite easy actually. I think a lot of people think you have to do your PGA, and that's one route to go. But I just wanted to play. PGA is more the teaching route. So what you do is you enter an event online. You can go onto Jamiga, TP, Clutch, Europro. You enter an event as a pro. So there's two: enter as an amateur, enter as a pro. And when you click pro, you're agreeing that you're playing for money. And so then you turn up to the event. You're still amateur all the way up until you hit that first tee shot. If the second you hit that tee shot, you are stating that you are playing golf for money, and that then deems you as a professional golfer. So it's quite easy, but they do. When I did it I did mine on Jamiga, and they were really good. They said to me, "What's your handicap?" And at the time I was +2, and they said, "Listen, like it's tough. There's a lot of good guys out here." They're like, are you ready and stuff like this. So they don't like push you away from it, but they do warn you like it's tough. So I think that's good, because obviously you get a lot of guys turning pro, struggling, turn straight back to amateur like a couple of years later. So it's as easy as that. It's literally just say you're going to be a pro, hit that tee shot, and you're all good. And then standard-wise, I think a good story to kind of tell you the standard. So on my first event, I played at Royal Ascot Golf Club in a Jamiga, and Jamiga is it's not like a ranked tour. So Euro Pro, you get world rankings and stuff. Jamiga's like the one below that. You got a lot of very, very good players, but there's no progression. So it's not like a main tour, if that makes sense. And so the standard is very good, but it's not quite as good as Euro Pro. It's like a couple of shots behind it. So obviously I went in there quite confident. Played at Royal Ascot, and it was so windy. I remember it was probably blowing about 15-20 mile an hour winds all day, and like I was hitting the ball really nicely. I was grinding though. Short scoreable course, but like it was tough out there. I made one bogey, 2 birdies, so I was 1 under. Was it 2 birdies? Yeah, 1 under. And I was on the 18th tee, hit my tee shot, and we were walking down the fairway, and I said to the guys, I was like, "Oh, it's tough out here today. What do you reckon's going to be leading?" So Jamiga's 2 days. So this was on the first day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, probably someone's going to shoot 8 under, probably 8, 9 under." And I was like, "It's like no chance. It's hard out here." Like in my head, I was thinking probably 4 under. 4 under would be a very, very good score today. And they were like, this guy, I'm not going to mention his name because obviously he's not giving me permission, so I don't want to do anything that I shouldn't. So they were like, this guy, he's probably shot it. I was like, oh, not today. And we get up to the 18th green, and there's a big scoreboard behind, and that guy they were talking about had shot 8 under. 2 other players had shot 8 under. 5 players were on 7 under. I think 5 were on 6, so on and so forth. And I was like, I shot 1 under par, and I was like chuffed with myself, and I was like 28th out of 80, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, I was like, why have I turned pro? I didn't realise like how good these guys were. And then the next day was same again. It was really windy. I was bogey free. I shot 2 under or 3 under, something like that. So I think I was 3 or 4 under for the event, 36 holes, and I came 18th and top 16 got paid. So I missed the money by a shot. And I was like, I've played, like, it was probably one of my best 2 rounds I've put together in a while. And like, I haven't made anything. And I was like, that kind of hit me as like, this standard is very, very good. I think these guys are very underrated as golfers because they're not household names. People haven't necessarily heard of them, and they are shooting usually a Jamaica 2 rounds. You have to shoot probably 11 under to win it through 2 rounds. So the standard is very, very good. But then in some ways it makes it easier because it's not a huge gap between Jamaica and European Tour. Like the winner in Jamaica through 36 holes, if that was a European Tour event, would be there or thereabouts. Like it's not, I generally believe it's not far off tour level. I've seen tour guys play and they're just as good as Jamaica Tour guys. It's just they do it more often and they put 4 rounds together. Jamaica's 2 rounds. So that's the only difference in terms of standard is the consistency. And also European Tour, you've got 150 guys. Jamaica, you've got 50 guys that can do it and 50 guys that can't really compete at that standard. So yeah, that's a bit about the standard. And my last topic is kind of life as like a mini tour golfer or as a professional golfer. It's tough. I think it's really tough. You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to treat it as your job at the end of the day. Like as much as golf is a hobby for most of us and it's a sport we love, you're there to earn money. You're there to make a living for yourself. And so you have to treat it like a 9-to-5 job. You have to spend that 8 hours a day at the golf course practicing, playing, at the gym, all that stuff. So even though you might be in a lovely city like Edinburgh, or for example, you're not there to go sightseeing. You're there to compete and win the event. So I think a lot of guys would say the same. I think you could maybe spend a day at the city that you're visiting that week, but it's not all sightseeing and nice hotels and private jets like you see the Ian Poulters doing. It's kind of, as I said on my introduction video, the first one, it's finding the cheapest Airbnb, finding the cheapest place to eat because it's expensive, very, very expensive, and it's spending all day at the golf course. And if you've got an early tee time, maybe in the afternoon, you might go and see this town if you're a bit tired and you're a bit practiced out. But for the most part, it's just you're there to work. I think I've seen a lot of people, a lot of my like friends as golfers didn't really realise that they would play and then they'd go off and go to a bar or something in Edinburgh and whatever, and then 2 months down the line when they've missed every cut or they haven't got their cards, they're wondering why. But it's quite self-explanatory really. You get what you put in. So I think that's a very misled thing, is that it's not as glamorous as it kind of looks, but at the same time you do get to experience a lot more than you would do in a normal job. You do, if you do go to Edinburgh, for example, and you do spend half a day there, you do get to see that place. You get to play these amazing golf courses. You get to meet loads of people, get to experience that little something different each week. And some weeks are great, some weeks not so great. But yeah, I think it's a lot more brutal than people kind of maybe think, if that makes sense. It's very, very expensive. Very expensive. I'm trying to think of a word here. I guess it's a hobby. So it's an expensive hobby. An entry into Jamiga, for example, is £230. I think. I could be wrong. First prize is 3,500. It's a 2-day event with a practice round. So you're there for 3 days, so 3 nights, for example, 2 nights maybe. Sunday night, Monday night. Yeah, you could get away with staying there for 2 nights. So you're looking at 2 nights in a hotel, which is, if you get a cheap place, that's £100 for 2 nights. You're looking at probably about 8 meals whilst you're there. So say it's tenner a meal. You're looking at £80 for that. So that's 180 plus your entry. So you're looking at God, my maths is terrible. £400 for the event. That's before range balls, golf balls that you're using. First place gets 3,500. Second place I think gets £2,000, and then third place gets like 1,500 or something. There's usually about 90 to 105 guys in the field. Top 16 get paid, I believe. 16th earns about £200 with no ties. If you tie, you're splitting that with however many people are tied with you. So you are, to break even, to get that £400 back, I reckon you would probably have to finish top 10 out of 100 guys. And as I said, I think 10, 11 under wins it most weeks. So you're probably having to shoot 6 under through 2 rounds to make your money back. And that's tough, like under pressure, with all these guys breathing down your necks. It's really hard. So I think it's not a money making event. It's not a money making sport. Until you get to the top, until you get to the European Tour or PGA Tour level. Maybe a good Challenge Tour player might make a little bit, but it's not. It's very, very hard to actually make money on the mini tours. It's very hard to break even. You need a sponsor. I don't have one yet, so I'm self-funding it. I work part-time at a bar to pay for my events. So I work out throughout winter and like maybe do weekends in the summer, and that's just literally just to pay for an event. If I play well in that event, happy days, I get a little bit of money back. But you kind of don't, you try, but you expect to lose that money, if that makes sense. I think that makes you frees you up a little bit. If you say, right, there's £500, I'm going to lose it, it frees you up. If you're like, I've had it when I first started, if you pay £500 and you're like, right, shit, I've got to make that £500 back, so I need to finish 8th. And then you're like, what's 8th? 8th is 6 under. And then you're 1 under after round 1. And you're like, oh God, I've got to shoot 5 under tomorrow, otherwise I've just lost £500. I think if you look at it like that, you're really going to struggle. It's hard not to, because obviously it's your money, it's your hard work. But I think you can't, if that makes sense. You'll drive yourself into a bad place if you do that. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I kind of wanted to get across in this video. That's answered a few questions I was getting. I think it explains a little bit more about what life's actually like as a professional golfer. Don't get me wrong, if you do get to European Tour, you are earning a lot of money, and that is my goal. My goal is to get to top 50 in the world at some point in my career, play the Masters, play a WGC, and earn like a good living. Like you see the guys that have finishing 100th on the money list, they're still earning 300 grand a year. So I think once you get to that stage, I think it's a very, very good lifestyle. You still, as I said, you still wouldn't get to see much of the places you're going to, much of the Dubais or the Kenyas or the Mauritius, but you will live a lot more of a comfortable lifestyle. You'll get luxury hotels. They've got private jets, but they've worked for it. You know, they've been in the same places as myself and many of the other guys are right now. So they I think they do deserve it. I mean, it's a lonely job, but so I think you get paid for what you put out with, I guess. But yeah, so that is this video done. Quite a long one, but I hope it answers any questions I was getting. If anyone has got a question, or if I have not answered one to your liking, then if you just drop me a DM, I'll leave my Instagram below, or message me in the comment section here. I will get back to you as soon as I can and hopefully provide a better answer. So yeah, thank you for giving up some time out of your day to watch this. I hope you're well, and I will see you in the next video.